So if you want to learn correct score trading on Betfair in full from start to finish, and you want to see how we made profits like this and this and this, then you're in the right place. Go grab a nice cold beer and let's get into it. We're looking at a match here from the Bundesliga 2 with Fürth against Kaiserslautern. And if you look at this market, 2.9 for the home team, 2.48 for the away team. So it's a pretty even matchup, okay? Kaiserslautern are the favourites, but in football, that's not a clear favourite. And as you might know from following a lot of these videos, when we're trading the correct score market, we tend to want a clear favourite because then we've got a good idea of which correct scores to cover. Well, anyway, we've still got involved and we've covered an awful lot of them, and as you can see, what we've covered here is the 0-1 and the 1-0 to both sides. So no matter who takes the lead, we should be in a position to potentially do something, but then the rest of it pretty much favors the home team, okay, with our plan B's being things like a 1-1 or a 2-1, and also that 0-1 to Kaiserslautern. So anyway, it's going to be interesting. Let's see how this one goes in play. It's just about to kick off. So here we are at half time in this one, and it is 1-0 to the away team. So that's not great for us. Remember, we've obviously gone in favouring that home team. So 2-0, 3-0, those score lines are completely dead to us. And we're on the back foot, really. We're on the back foot in this one. So anyway, the good news is that we did cover the 0-1 to Kaiserslautern in case of this eventuality. And we're going to anticipate more goals, and also we want to lower down the risk on this as much as we can. And so, no, that's not right. Let me try and put this down to 0. Yeah, let's just lay it off at 6.2. Pretty much down to 0, 30 pence. And let's just get that in the market. And so anyway, what you can see is that it's lowered down the risk. So we shouldn't be taking a full loss on this match in the very least, which is good news again. If Kaiserslautern do score again, we've just got to hold our hands up and say, do you know what, we've called it wrong, move on to the next match. At least we've lowered down the loss, right, and not taken a full hit on our stake. But an equaliser to Fürth, and we're back in the match, okay? We're back in the trade, rather. So anyway, let's see what happens in the second half. It's 1-0 to Kaiserslautern at half-time. 55 minutes, we've got an equaliser. We're back in the trade. So it's Fürth 1, Kaiserslautern 1, and that puts us on this 1-1 scoreline. We're going to use some of the green that we built up, and we're going to pretty much sacrifice it. Remember, we're still in danger, okay? We're still in danger on this trade, and if there is another Kaiserslautern goal, that will eliminate us. It will kill the trade, and we'll have to definitely take a loss because we don't have any score lines after that. But anyway, let me try and put this down to 0 and just try and get this in the market. And we should then be in a position where if we do get that Kaiserslautern second goal, our loss now is only going to be around a 31% loss on our stake, which is something we can handle, okay? Now, obviously, a lot of people, they do watch these videos and they're like, well, what happens when you lose a trade? What happens when it goes wrong? Well, in this case, Kaiserslautern score the next goal, we're going to lose 30% on our stake, and then that's it, okay? We just move on to the next trade. The idea is that on the winning trades, we can win a lot more than, say, this 31% loss that we could potentially take if Kaiserslautern do score. But anyway, I'm just looking at that worst case scenario. That's always something to keep in mind. Best case scenario right now, we do get Fürth to take the lead, and they go 2-1 up, and we've got a nice bit of green sitting on that, and the 3-1 as well. Break even if it remains 1-1. Let's see what happens. There's lots of time left in this one. It's 57 minutes. It's 1-1. 95 minutes are on the clock, and we've had a very late goal, and it has gone in our favour as Wagner has scored for Fürth, and that's put us on that 2-1 scoreline. And as it stands, there's probably nothing more to do, but we're always going to err on the side of caution and lay it off, okay? And the big benefit of that is that, look, I mean, we're going to leverage up nicely if there is a third goal for Firth as well. So anyway, always worth doing. And anyway, you saw how this trade played out, and this should be hopefully a good example for those who wanted to see trades where it goes slightly against us. Okay, so initially did go against us with Kaiserslautern taking the lead and being ahead at half time. Thankfully we did have some green to play with, but you saw that we put ourselves in a position where we were trying to lower our potential risk. We were always in danger of Kaiserslautern getting that second goal and killing our trade, and we're going to have to take a loss. Okay, and that was always there, and even late on it was still there. Kaiserslautern could have scored, and we're looking at a £30 loss. And anyway, that's one thing we did. We put ourselves in a position where we could minimize that potential loss and maximize that potential gain, and in the end we've walked out with £186 of profit. Not bad at all. And that is just to confirm the final whistle there. So not bad at all. Okay, we were down to potentially losing £30 or winning £186. That's a very nice risk reward ratio, and that is the beauty of trading the correct score market. If you can get your losses down to something like 30%, like we've just shown you, and get your wins up to 186%, then it takes a lot of the hard work out of this in the long term. So that is definitely the final score. Firth 2, Kaiserslautern 1. And if you like clips like this and you want to see more of it, remember to hit the like button to let YouTube know to give you more videos just like this. Just hit the like button. But anyway, so it's one thing seeing these correct score trading videos. It's a whole different thing actually trying to go into the market and trying to trade the correct score market just based on seeing the videos. Really, ideally, you need to have a step-by-step guide to learning the correct score market, which is why we put together this course, Correct Score Mastery, which is aimed at making you a full master of the correct score market. So the main idea is that if you are serious about this and you like the look of what you see and you want to learn more, then you can obviously take up the course. So let me show you. This is the members area for Correct Score Mastery. So I've just clicked in, as you can see here, and you've got a good idea of the modules. So let me give you an idea of how it all works. I'm going to click into Mindset Mastery. Just to give you an idea of how the course starts. So the course starts by explaining the vision, mission and principles and what you're trying to do when you're trying to trade the correct score market. And it's important to have that mindset as you do trade the correct score market, because you might have seen it from the videos, you might have gathered it, but a lot of our main principle, as is covered here, is that we're aiming to remove risk from the trades as our main priority, and then putting ourselves in a position to maximize our profits. So anyway, that is all covered in the mindset module. It's obviously important to start there, but I do think for most people it's going to be this technical mastery module, which is where a lot of people are really going to be in, well, you know, they're really going to be interested in this, aren't they? So let me just quickly scroll down just to show you. You've got all these videos. They're all in your members area. You can watch this from any device, whether it's your laptop, whether it's on your phone or a tablet, and you just press play on the videos. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to mess around with it, but it's just pressing play and then you go. So let me show you the videos that are here. As you can see, all very short, bite-size sorts of videos. And this will teach you pretty much all the techniques that you would have seen us do in the videos on a lot of the trades. I know that, and a few people have said it when they watch the videos, everything's moving so fast, not everything is fully explained. And we did have someone say, hey, do you know what? I would really love it if you could just break it down for me step by step and show me exactly what I've got to do and how I've got to do it. So I said, well, that's why we have the course, for exactly that. So let me just quickly show you this. So look, video 1, we're going to show you how to set up your account properly for correct scores trading, which most probably have anyway. We'd also show you how to filter for the qualifiers and to find the suitable matches for trading the correct score market, which is very important. The 2+ rule, the correct score market movement explained, and this is quite crucial because we always say when you're trading correct scores, it's a little bit like a chess match where you've always got to think a goal or two ahead and what that next goal will do for the market. Then we get on to things like this where we talk about the entry techniques into the market, the pros and cons of each. So we've got obviously the Dutching, we've got the split staking, also skew staking, which is very underrated and not really used by that many. We haven't actually showed that in any YouTube videos, but we do show it inside the course. So what I will do, I'm going to jump into a real life example actually right now, just highlighting the importance of learning more about this, the 2+ rule. So I'm going to get into a real life demonstration where we were trading a match, and then we had to take action based on this. So let's get into that trade right now. So we're looking at this one. It's Athletic Bilbao against Real Madrid. We're going to be trading the correct score market on this one. Real Madrid favourites, as you would expect, and a pretty high price for Real Madrid, 1.87 as we speak. So anyway, leading into this match, bit of some tricky form for Real Madrid. So we're going with a Real Madrid win. We're also covering a plan B. We're expecting goals. Our plan B is going to be a 2-2. Okay, so our plan B could be a 1-1, could be maybe a 1-0 to Athletic Bilbao, but we're expecting some goals. 2-2 is where we're going to land with our plan B. Hopefully we don't even need it. Let's see what happens. We'll give you more updates in play. Half time, it's Athletic Bilbao 0, Real Madrid 2. So 2-0 to Real Madrid. We're on the 2-0 to Real Madrid score. We've currently got all our scores alive, and you would think that looking at this situation, this is as good as it gets. Well, it is a very, very good situation, but the big question is, do we continue with the trade? You do have a lot of options. We could obviously lay off this 2-0, try and chase further goals in the second half. But what we're going to do, I will actually just lock in the profits, and then I'll explain why once that is done. So let's just press this button and get it locked in. And we're almost done. I have to just press it again. Typically, we'll have to do that on the correct score market. Could take 2 or 3 presses. So anyway, we've got it locked in. So look, we went in with a £100 stake. We've now got £88 locked in. It's an 88% return on your stake. That's pretty good. Now here's the reason why you might want to consider this half-time exit. So we're on this 0-2 score. You can see it's 5.6 to lay. So if we obviously had bigger green on the 0-3 and 3-1, etc. You might think, well, we should chase that. Another goal, it's just going to increase our profits. Actually, it's not the case. So if there is another goal, say in the first 20 minutes of the second half, we lose our 0-2, we lose our 1-2 also, unless it goes to 1-2, but let's say it goes to 3-0 to Madrid. We lose those two score lines, and as said, this 5.6 on the 0-2 actually goes on to the 0-3, or close to it. So we end up in a situation where this 0-3 price could actually drift, and bottom line, this £89 that we could lock in right now wouldn't be available if there is another goal early in the second half. So you're only really going to learn that with experience in the correct score market, and a lot of people do misunderstand the correct score market. They might think, well, look, we're on 2-0. If we hit that 3-0, it's going to be an even bigger profit. It all depends on the timing of when you hit that 3-0 or the 2-1 or the 3-1. And ideally, you want to hit those scores late in the second half. So looking at this match, the way this is developed, Real Madrid are absolutely firing. They're absolutely dominating Bilbao. They're 2-0 up. Can I see this remaining goalless in the early stages of the second half? Probably not, the way it's looking. So when there is a profit available to take, if you're in any doubt, just take the profit and get out. So we are taking the profit on this one. Typically, you might see us want to try and chase a bigger profit to try and make it a really cool clip for YouTube, but we're not doing that anymore. Sensible trading. Athletic Bilbao 0, Real Madrid 2. We're exiting at half-time with a profit. So as said, this is the type of stuff that we teach you inside the course, so you know how to make all these decisions, and you can make these decisions for yourself when you're in the markets. And by the way, link is in the description. If you are watching this and you are interested in taking this course, then the link is in the description to get on the waiting list for the course itself, okay, for Correct Score Mastery if you haven't done it already. But anyway, we're showing you what is in there for this year. It's obviously been heavily updated since it first launched, but also you get onto techniques like this. You learn the liability function, how to go zero liability, how to remove risk when you're on target scores. You learn how to find the real prices in the market, so not necessarily the prices that are available immediately as the market reforms. We show you how to find those real prices, how to take them, okay, how to put yourself ahead of everyone else so you can take the real prices and extract as much value as possible out of the markets. And we show you the green shift, how to move green around. It's something we do a lot in the YouTube videos. Not everyone quite grasps it just from seeing the demos, but of course, these videos, it's all broken down step by step. You learn exactly how to do everything. You learn how to use the market probability to make your predictions. The emergency cash out, that's the manual cash out. So we show you how to do the manual cash out. Again, it's not something we really do on YouTube. On YouTube, it's more just press that cash out button and move on. It looks a little bit cooler. But in the courses, we show you the real way of cashing out the markets manually. A little bit more fiddly, but very, very important. If you want to go to the next level, become a master of the market, then it's important to learn this. And especially in the late stages when you're trading correct scores, you're going to need it. So anyway, that is in there also. You've also got how to follow matches in play, the profit distribution techniques. Again, not something we've shown on YouTube, really, not in detail. I've kind of done it on a few videos, but we haven't really showed it to you. Also the one tick trick. So lots of stuff we haven't shown you how to do on YouTube. A lot of stuff that we've done on YouTube, but you haven't really, it hasn't really been explained how we're doing it. This is the module where all of that is explained, okay? And you're going to have all the tips and tricks. They're all going to be right in your arsenal, right in your weaponry as you are trading the correct score market. And just to come out of it, so after you've learned all the technical stuff, obviously, then you've got a whole bunch of systems. So you've got the Q light system. We're not going to cover that today, but we will look at the Q systems and what you can potentially learn within those systems. So let's click into this now and get an idea. So obviously, intro videos will cover your mission, your staking, your profit aims. Then we cover finding the qualifiers and how to research the matches. And then we follow the most ideal target score formula. Okay, so this is a pretty much a universal target score formula is the best way to think about it. In an ideal world, you would find a target score formula for every single match before you get involved. But it's not always possible. So we give you what is probably the most optimal universal target score formula to follow. And then you've got the 3 different systems, and they're kind of ranked on difficulty, so from beginner to advanced. And so we'll dive into, let's dive into the beginner, I guess. Let's have a look at it just so you can get an idea of how it all works. So you've got this main video that'll teach you the system itself. Then you've got the live trades library where we demonstrate the trades or the system across lots of different matches. And you can play all of those, and we show you the winning trades. Most importantly, we show you the losing trades, also how you handle the losing trades, what you can do when you get in those sticky situations, okay? So full trading library is in there, and that is the beginner system, but it warms up a bit once we get onto the Q green, which is a little bit more advanced. So you got the Q green system, you learn the main system, obviously very detailed. This is a 38-minute video which shows you how detailed this particular system is. Then you might want to be interested in this. It's the insurance modules, okay? The 1-point cover, the dual method. So we basically show you how you can start to remove risk on certain score lines as you're trading the match, with the idea being you're going to try and get yourself into a risk-free position. So that is something we haven't covered too much on YouTube. And I looked around and I looked through our old clips, and I could find one. I could find one where we kind of hinted at what you learn in the Q green. So if anything, let's check out that clip right now. So we're getting involved in this match. It's the Turin derby with Torino against Juventus. Look at that draw price, 2.94. You don't normally see a draw price below 3. You don't normally see under 2.5 goals starting at around 1.46 or over 1.5 goals. So look, this is expected to be low scoring. We've covered all those low scores, as you can see. We're probably going to have to try and scalp that 0-0 in play as well as some sort of insurance. Anyway, let's see what happens as this develops. So it's half time in this one, and it's 0-0, which is no huge surprise. Just showing you the XG data there, because we're going to refer to that in a minute. But just to show you, look, we've covered that 0-0 during the first half. We scalped that down all the way down to 0. So that puts us in a very good position now for this particular match, because it doesn't look like there's going to be many goals. However, we're expecting 1 goal, at least, to Juventus. So we're going to hang in, looking for that 1 goal. We could cash out for, say, what, £23 of profit there, but we're going to try and hang on for that 1-0 to Juventus and then see what develops. Okay, 1 goal could open the match. But either way, we're covered on that 0-0. So we shouldn't lose if it remains 0-0. Anyway, let's see how the second half develops. We're late in the match on this one. It's still 0-0, and it's probably going to finish 0-0. Okay. So anyway, as you know, we've covered that 0-0. We've taken the insurance on the 0-0, and nothing's happened. No goals have gone in. There's no action to take. We're just going to end up breaking even on this one. So it just shows you what you can do on the correct score market. We took the insurance on the 0-0. We've had that insurance kick in. And bit of a boring match. We weren't watching it, so no real time lost. But in the end, yeah, it's going to finish probably Torino 0, Juventus 0. So that clip kind of gives you a quick hint at what you can expect within the Q Green. We're basically showing you how to set up insurance within the match. So when you're trading the correct score market, you're setting up your plan A, your plan B, and you can also start to take insurance on certain danger scores also. Anyway, we explain all of that inside the course, and then we got that live trading library, as you can see here, which will show you many examples of exactly that. And then once that is done, you still got the Q Red system, which is the most advanced, most powerful. And in this one, we're not just removing risk, we're actually building up green on additional score lines. So you've got your initial target score formula, and now we're looking to not just put some of those scores down to 0, but actually build up some green on additional scores. So if you do like the sound of that and a lot of what you're hearing, remember, link is in the description to join the waiting list for Correct Score Mastery, and hopefully there should be something available very soon, depending on when you're seeing this video. So anyway, the live trading library is here also for the Q Red, and yep, looking just as good. Okay, possibly needs some additions to it, and that's another plus point with the course. We're always updating it. Okay, we're always updating it. It did initially launch a couple of years ago, but we've updated it since, and we've added a lot to it. Okay, it's not a static course which is just based in the past. It's always being updated as the markets change and as the markets develop. So anyway, that is what you learn there with the Q systems. Let's go back to this. You've obviously got the platinum section also, which I'm not actually going to cover in this video because we're already getting stuck for time. I mean, look at that clock. So I will cover what comes up in the next modules. We then got the recovery module as well. So let's just quickly click into that, so you've got an idea of it. Okay, and we kind of show you how to get out of bad, sticky situations. Okay, we kind of show you your options for when trades go wrong. And yeah, we show you how those options can play out with a lot of demonstration trades for you to check out there also. And that's probably, again, something we don't really cover too much on YouTube. On YouTube, you kind of got to be positive, so we don't really show you the ins and outs of that. So that's another big plus point. And then this is the most important part of the course, really, and it's something a lot of the Correct Score Mastery members seem to miss, is that once all this is done, the main idea is for you to become a master of the correct score market and to be doing stuff like this, picking out your own target score formula. Okay, this is one of the main keys of it. As said, to start to apply skew staking. It is not something we've shown at all on YouTube, and a lot of members seem to miss this part of it, because once you've learned everything earlier in the course, especially the Q systems, the Q system target score formula, it's now down to you to pick your own target scores and apply some skew staking if you really want to become a master of the correct score market. Okay, and then there is a toolbox. There is some extras available in there, especially the correct score simulator, which is very, very good. So you can just start to practice those correct score strategies without risking any of your money, and you can really get a good understanding of the market from that. But overall, this is Correct Score Mastery, and this is the logical next step. If you really are interested in improving with your correct score trading, going to the next level, then this is here for you as an option. As said, the link is in the description to get on the waiting list or to learn how to get involved in it. And we've got another live trade coming up, and this is the main idea, is that once you learn how to trade the correct score market, you could be trading markets and matches just like this. So got a match from the Dutch league here. Go Ahead Eagles against Alkmaar. Alkmaar, the away team, and odds-on favourite here, as we can see, 1.88. And let's have a look at the over 2.5 goals. Expecting goals in this one, 1.8, as you would expect in the Dutch league. And so let's look at what we've done in the correct score market, covering score lines in favour of Alkmaar favouring goals, and a little bit of a plan B with the 2-2, 1-2 and 1-3. So anyway, yeah, it's just about to kick off, as you can see. Let's see what happens in play. We just reached half time in this one, and this one is going to plan so far. Alkmaar have taken the lead. They took the lead around the 38th minute, so they're leading 1-0. That keeps all our target scorelines alive as it stands, and so not much else to do just yet. Let's see how the second half develops. 59 minutes on the clock, just landing on that target scoreline. It's just on 2-0 to Alkmaar, and we could lock in pretty decent profit there. £107. That's 107% return on our stake. Of course, what we're going to try and do though, we're going to try and see if we can get more out of this, okay? And by doing that, we've got to risk at least maybe breaking even on this. So let me just show you what we're going to do. Is we're going to lay off all the green that is on this 0-2 scoreline, lay it off at odds of 3, and so that should get taken in just a moment, and then you'll see that that will bump up the profit on the next possible scoreline, the 0-3 and also the 1-2, also the 1-3 as well, still in play at the same time. So look, obviously, and to be honest, this is pretty decent profit. More than 100% return on your stake is always good when trading correct score market, so you might just want to take this at this particular point, but of course we might be able to get more. We might be able to race this and get a bigger profit out of it. So let's see what happens. You can see the bet is slowly being taken. I'm sure it will be taken in just a moment, as you can see. And so, okay, let's see what this has done. Is that going to be a red card? Are they looking at a red card there? No, I don't think it's going to give a red card. But anyway, that bet is there. It should get taken in just a moment, and it's pretty much taken now. Also lowers our risk on this down to just £40. Okay, finally you can see it. Okay, so let's see what happens. It's still around half an hour left in this one. 2-0 to Alkmaar. .87 minutes on the clock, and very, very nice goal has just made it Alkmaar 3, Go Ahead Eagles 0, or 0-3 in this case. So let's just lock it in. Tiny VAR check. I mean, it was like a 25-yard strike, but sometimes VAR can always find things that we haven't seen. But anyway, yeah, goal definitely stands. And so remember, we were looking at £100 to lock in earlier on after the 2-0, but we took a bit of a risk. I say a bit of a risk, I mean we put the 2-0 down to 0 to break even if there were no further goals, to try and chase a bigger profit. This time we've succeeded. We've hit the 3-0 target score, and we've hit a level up of the profits. Okay, let me just show you another thing to do, and we're going to do it right here, just in case there is another goal. Let's try and give ourselves an even bigger profit. Okay, there's still it's injury time, and so let's just lay off some of the 0-3 at 1.22, and then that will put an extra 100 on the next possible score lines, as you can see. So if Alkmaar were to make it 4, any other away win or a goal pulled back, we could increase the profits. Okay, and increase them very nicely actually on the 1-3. So always worth doing late on. Don't just walk away from it. Always try and leverage up your green. But that's pretty much it. As you can see here, the trade worked out very, very nicely for us. And you saw what we did on the 2-0 scoreline to try and increase those profits for no real added risk. So just keep that in mind. Looks like probably the final score in this one. Go Ahead Eagles 0, Alkmaar 3. 92 minutes on the clock. Penalty just converted by the Go Ahead Eagles. So that puts us on that 1-3 scoreline. So yeah, I'm going to try and see, because there could still be another goal in this, of course. But anyway, as you know, that we had a nice bit of money sitting on that one, 682 profit. We're going to lay some of that off just to make sure we've got that pretty much greened up. As you can see, the cash out's there at 654, and so let's just put it in again. You never know, could be another goal. This is the Dutch league; it's full of goals, as we know, right? So let's do that, and then that could level us up again if there is another late goal. But probably that is it now, because there's about 20 seconds left. But yeah, so some good examples here of obviously what you saw what we did. We were looking at a 100 cash out if we just exited early at the 2-0, but we leveraged it up. We got onto the 3-0. That gave us around 250 of profit. Left a nice bit of green on that 1-3 scoreline, and now we've hit it. So looks like we're probably then going to exit out of this one with a 650 profit this time. I think this one is the final score this time. Go Ahead Eagles 1, Alkmaar 3. Okay, I'm back again. Looks like we could have another goal here. Not sure if you're allowed to see the footage, but looks like we could have another goal to Alkmaar. Let's see what happens. If you can see the footage, then that would be great. Possibly an offside. They're doing a VAR check on this one, but it looks like there's another goal. So it will just show you that I was exactly right in doing exactly what I did with regards to laying it off again. I know some people would be like, well, what's the point? The match is almost over. Nope. Always look out for more goals. And so if this goal stands, we've gone on to the VAR, and that will bump up our profit on up to 753. And let's see what's going on. It didn't look offside, but anyway, let's have a closer look. And are they going to chalk it off? And then we're back to the previous profit. Nope, he's given the goal. He's given the goal, hasn't he? So, yep, there you go. And that should be the end of the match. So, yes, very, very nicely done. As you can see there, a flourish, late flourish of 3 goals very late on. Leveraged up that green very nicely. Landed on the 753 profit, as you can see there. Okay, we'll just bring it into focus. So, now is the final score. Now I'm sure it's the final score. Go Ahead Eagles 1, Alkmaar 4. And that match was a very, very good example of what can happen when you're trading the correct score market. When everything aligns and you kind of follow the system, follow the process, you can land some very, very juicy profits. And it's a very exciting market to trade. As we said in quite a few videos, you're going to get yourself into a position where you're going to make money. It's just a matter of how much, and it's only really the correct score market that can deliver that sort of possibility. But anyway, I think you've seen enough to know whether this is something you're interested in or not. If you want to join the waiting list, if you want to get more information about it, you can click the link in the description or just scan the QR code. So as said, you've probably seen enough, and if not, then that's absolutely fine. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed checking out this video, and there are more videos on the screen for you to check out right now. So just click on that video and I'll see you in the next video.